9 to 4. Now it's from 11 to 4. I am happy to see some of the Wake Up young people here today. Good to have you. I began my Dharma meditative practice when I was in my early 20s, so happy to see there are others who are coming on board early on. It'll save you a lot of suffering. It'll save you a lot of mistakes if you get it early on. Traditionally in spiritual life, kind of older people come to spiritual life, to Dharma, because they've kind of made all the mistakes. Because they've gone through all the societal norms of what happiness is, what we're supposed to do to be happy, and often at the end realize, well, I might have done this and I might have done that, I might have had a job, I might have a profession, I might have owned a house, I might have had a family, I might have had, you know what I mean? And yet, somehow something did not provide that kind of deeper happiness and well-being. So even though that is traditional, it doesn't mean that getting it early on may not be helpful. It's sort of like, what is it like? It's sort of like one can, go on a long hike, days and days and days, right? And one sets out with one thinks one needs, and somewhere along the way begin to find out, oh, these are the wrong shoes. So we go and get another right pair of shoes. And then we go a little further and we realize, oh, I need insect repellent. Forgot that. So I have to start over again and get insect repellent, right? And then a few days out, I realize, ooh, I brought the wrong clothes. So now I got to go back to the beginning and get the right clothes. And then it starts to rain, and I didn't have any rain gear. So now I got to go back to the beginning and get rain gear. And then, can you see where this is going? Get the wrong food. I'll go back and get the right food. And, and this is the way most people do it in life, right? And that's okay. It's good to learn. It's good to do what's necessary. But how about if before we set out on our journey, we kind of read up? We talked to people who had already done the journey, right? And really had everything I needed. Right? Then the journey would still be a journey. It still may get buggy, it still may rain, it still, still have to sleep on the ground, you know what I'm saying? But I know how to deal with everything. I have the right equipment. I'm not thrown. I don't have to keep going back, starting over. Right? So that's what older people have to do, or people who've gone through their journey of life without really anticipating what the journey was about. And no one really told us. We had to learn as we go. But fortunately, in the spiritual traditions, there is this body of wisdom, this body of learning, this of thousands of years old, of people who've done this life journey. It may have been a different time, but the essence of the journey is the same. And really have kind of discovered how to do it right, how to do it with joy and happiness and ease and compassion and space, and you know what I mean? And, so again, the earlier we get it in life, the more time we'll have for really enjoying really the wondrous things in this life, and really learn how to be, to be a good human being. And so again, the fact that you don't have to wait, right? You don't have to be beaten up by life before you kind of get it. You don't have to go to, many people think it's all about going down the wrong roads. right? And there is a learning curve to keep going down the wrong roads. You know, when you discover it's the wrong road, the wrong path, get back on the path, right? Go on a little bit, make a left turn, looks interesting, spend a year or two doing that. No, wrong turn, get back on, you know what I mean? So many people do it that way again. But, you know, what if you just stayed on the road that's taking you to where you want to go? See how easy that is? See how simpler that is? So that's what a spiritual path is about. We look, we check them out. We find the one that has meaning and purpose and takes us where we want to go. And then all we need to do is walk it. It's very hard for people. You know why? We're distracted. We read this book, we read that book, this teacher, this workshop, this, that, and you know what I mean, this, that, and everything. And in this world, you see, it used to be very simple. In the days before communication and internets, and, you know, now we know so much. Then you're kind of, you know, you grew up in your little area of the world, and you kind of lived most of your life there. And you kind of followed in the traditions of your area. There was less distraction. Now we're endlessly distracted. And since there's so many distractions these days that look interesting, that look stimulating, that look pleasurable, that are new, what's new this year? What's new this week? That we very easily get distracted. Distracted from what? Distracted from the real purpose in life, which is to find meaning and purpose and happiness and joy and peace of mind and cultivating wisdom and understanding. And, you know, that's really what this life is about, isn't it? And that's where we always come back to. After we make a wrong turn, a left turn, a right turn, a distraction. Then people go, oh, well, you know, it's like usually at a Dharma center, a meditation center like this, there's usually, and you get all of a sudden there's a lot more signing up for activities and events in January. Right? If you're in the diet business, January is what you look forward to. Why is that? Because everybody is finally taking stock, seeing how they got off, and going, well, this is a new year, right? And I'm going to do this, this, and this, which is good. But unfortunately, a year later, they're still doing the same thing, right? So there is another way. So before I get into the teachings I want to share today, are there any questions about what we have for anybody who is new today or old, in terms of the practices we've done, mindfulness of sitting and walking, indoor, outdoor, how to deal with thoughts, how to practice mindfulness of the body, of the breath, of the mind, or anything in terms of what I just said about a path? Are there anything not clear? Don't be shy, especially younger people or people here for the first time. Is there anything not clear to you? Anything you want to question? Don't be shy or feel you have to go along with what's said. Yes. Thank you.
Weird to me why we do walk meditation inside when it's still nice outside.
Well, if you're looking for a deep meaning in it, there isn't one. Just, first we do outdoor meditation, walking, then we do indoor. Just two different ways of doing it, that's all. So today's a day of practice. If people enjoyed outdoor, you know, we want to expose people. So if people enjoy the outdoor walking meditation, please pursue it. You know, that's it. No deep meaning. Any other questions about today and make sure you understand the meditative experiences. Yes? What? Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Well, the analogy I was using is that this is a road that you want to be on because it's taking you to where you want to go. So if we're talking about getting back on a road that we really don't want to be on and wondering why I keep going back, that's your question. Yeah. So it's not about just any old road. It's about the right road, right? So again, most people don't have a clue. They just kind of go on a road, right? And they get off a road, on a road. This road looks interesting. They get off on that. You know what I mean? Most people live life that way, don't they? Without really a lot of consciousness, without a lot of criteria for, like even asking you. How many people actually ask themselves the question, in this life, what road do I want to be? In this life, what path do I really want to walk? Is that what was discussed at your dining room table growing up? Maybe it was, but in most cases it wasn't. Right? It's what? Eat your meatloaf. How was school today? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like... So it's really only in the spiritual that we talk about these things, these deeper, not just what to do, but how you want to be in this life. Right? How do you want to be in this life? Which is different than what do you want to do. There are certain things that are, what do you want to study in school, or what kind of career do you want, or, who do you want to be in relationship with, or, where do you want to go on vacation, or, what do you want to do this weekend, right? Those are all doing questions, right? Is that clear? But being is deeper. It's saying, in all this doing that I'm doing in life, how do I want to be? And that's a very different question, right? And it needs a very different technology to unpack that, such as mindfulness and meditation. What are the tools that allow us to look more deeply under the doing into the being, right? So it's not any old road. It's really taking the time to decide, where do I want to go in this life? And what is the road, the path that I want to take to get me there? It's not like a simple question, is it? It's not like snap answer. It's something to be with, to reflect on deeply. Right? And hopefully, if you go about it in a meaningful and systematic way, right? It's a combination. The first combination is what? Inner. Like you got to know yourself a little bit and really get in touch with, how do I want to be in this life? Is that clear? That's when you met with your guidance counselor. If I'm thinking about young people now, if you meet with your guidance counselor, you're talking about what courses you're going to take next semester, or where do you want to go to school, or what kind of career. That's what you're talking about. They're not talking to you about, well, how do you want to be in this life? Right? So that's a question that we have to kind of ask ourselves. How do I want to be in this life? What kind of person do I want to be? Do I want to be a happy person or an unhappy person? Do I want to be a stressed person or a calm person? Right? Do I want to be a worried, self-doubting person, or do I want to be a confident person? What kind of how do I want to be? Right? And how do I want to be with others? So it's not just about what are we going to do together, it's how are we going to be together, right? And that's why, so many people struggle in relationships these days. Why? Because they come together about doing. And all of a sudden they run into being. And that's where people don't often have a clue. And how can we be together? How do we want to be together? So you do your own process of, introspection to answer those questions for yourself with the help of others. And then you look around the world into the paths of life to go, well, let me find a path that will take me to where I want to go. So that when those two come together, you go, oh, all right, I found my path. It may take a period of searching, soul searching, looking around. There may be people here today or come to the Florida Community Mindfulness, and we're just one stop of many. Right? Dharma groups, other kinds of religions, spiritual paths, non-spiritual paths, right? But at some point, if you want to really develop, you have to decide what, in terms of my aspiration for my life, what path is gonna support me in that. Right? So it's that road. Right? And we may, if you're saying, wow, the road I keep getting back onto is really not the road I really want to be on, right? Oh, that's good. That's being mindful. You're going, wow, yeah, this is the road I'm on. But when I really look more deeply, yeah, I don't want to be on it. It's not going anywhere. Right? Keeps bringing me back to the same place. It's a circular road. When you know where you want to go, you take that road. So those are good questions. Any other questions about the practice of mindfulness or about what we've opened up here? Again, if you're sitting there with a question or a doubt, or don't be shy. Yes.
What do you mean by the superiority complex? I'm not sure. I'm really not clear about that.
Yeah, that's good. And most people who are here for the first time go, what is that? So good. Central, and this is really a very distinct difference between, we might say, Buddhist psychology and Western psychology, okay? In traditional Western psychology, there is a centrality of self, right? And basically, what's called psychopathology, or the diseases of self, are the ones that cause the self a lot of suffering, such as depression, anxiety, et cetera, lots of them, okay? And the purpose is to get rid of the kind of most egregious forms of suffering of the self, so we can have a more comfortable self, right? So for most people, when they hear superiority, inferiority complex, you'd say, wow, I'd much rather turn in my inferiority complex for what? Superiority complex. Right? So that's the way, in the world of self, that's the way we think. Right? So the inferiority complex is the self that thinks there's something wrong with me, I'm deficient, right? I'm less than, right? That's the inferior, that's the inferior. Superior is going to be, I'm better than everybody, smarter than everybody, more beautiful than everybody, better, blah, 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 blah. Everything should come to me. This one over here, oh, no, I don't deserve anything. Over here is I deserve everything, Right? So these are two different stances. And then the equality complex, which most people have never heard of. What the hell is the equality complex? The equality complex is the one that says, hey, I'm as good as everybody else, right? I'm as good as everybody else. Why is that person getting the raise? Right? Why did that person get the job? Right? We're all equal. See, but this is not like democracy. This is a different kind of a equality, you see. It's not acknowledging differences, right? There are some people who are smarter than other people, right? There are some people who are better cooks than other cooks. There are some people who are better athletes than other athletes, right? That's just the way it is, isn't it? But the equality conflict is always kind of, hey, how about me? Right? It's kind of a lot of always jealous and envious. So, from the world of ego and self, these are all various stances, we might say, that the self, the I, me, mine, takes in relationship to the world. And it may not always be the same. There may be some areas of our life where we think we're better than. There may be some other lives where we think we're inferior to. And there's some, so we're complex in our complexes, in our complexes. Okay? Now, what Buddhist psychology says, since Buddhist psychology is a psychology of non-self, since Buddhist psychology says you don't need a stance in this life, that actually taking the inferior, superior quality stance is causing you suffering, is keeping your mind always agitated, is producing all your emotional afflictions, and that there is another way. And so Buddhist psychology is a very sophisticated, I would say much more sophisticated psychology than Western psychology, because it has a much different, larger view of the human mind and human emotions, and really posits. You see, Western psychology posits nothing other than absence of psychopathology, right? So if you're not depressed, you're not anxious, you don't have a personality disorder, and you're not addicted to anything, then you're what? Then what are you? See, that's when you're discharged from treatment, right? Everybody know what I'm talking about. That's when you're discharged from treatment, right? That's when they release you from the hospital, right? You're no longer sick, but that doesn't mean you're healthy, right? You're just no longer sick. Is that clear? So Buddhist psychology posits a model of mental health. It posits a whole category of what it means to be a healthy human being. Right. And it has a path, a technology, a philosophy, a psychology that supports that. So in those three words, there's a lot. Any other questions? Yes.
I'm a competitive golfer.
Mm-hmm.
So, during my golf games, my mom and everybody who watches me says that I lack a lot of confidence in golf course. And just in general, I lack a lot of confidence. I always get confused on how to have confidence without like self-grasping.
Yeah.
So where's the balance between that?
Well, those are good questions. How old are you? Good for you. Yeah. So confidence is good, right? Confidence means what? What does that mean to you? Or why don't you pick, are there any areas of your life, let's not take golf, let's take another. Are there other areas of your life where you go through some activity of your life where you're confident? How about getting dressed in the morning?
5 years
Okay. But when you put on your uniform every morning, do you have a lot of worry or self-doubt? Or are you confident that you can put it on right? All right. How about brushing your teeth? I mean, is brushing your teeth a struggle between confidence and lack of confidence? No. Okay. So, any other larger areas of your life where you're just confident? It's not a struggle, you don't doubt yourself?
When I don't doubt myself, but I don't straight up a really good golfer.
Now, I'm not talking about externals. This is important. I'm talking about you. What areas of your life do you go through your life with confidence? There's no self-doubt. You're just doing it. Like brushing your teeth, right? Brushing your teeth is not a major kind of anxiety or doubt fest, is it? You just brush your teeth. You're confident that you can do it. How about taking a shower? Oh, good. You're getting dressed. Good. So we're going good. Then you have breakfast? Okay. Are you confident that you can kind of take care of breakfast? Yeah. So you're coming, so that's confidence. It's not like a big deal, is it? It's just you're going through some activity with a sense of well-being and that you can do it, right? There's no self-doubt. Then you go to school. I mean, do you start having an anxiety attack on the way to school? What? All right. Well, see, I would watch. What is your name? Katya. I mean, I would watch that. You see, it's interesting. You go, well, confident, relaxed, and then all of a sudden you go, well, some days I may go to school maintaining that sense of well-being and confidence, but some days I don't. See, I would watch that, Katya. What am I doing differently? What am I thinking about that's creating this doubt? You see? Because it's coming from you, isn't it? You see? It's not when you're paired up with another golfer. It's when you're paired up with another golfer, what does that mean to you? What do you think to yourself? See, that's where you get shaken. Can you see that? Yeah? I mean, golf is always the same, isn't it? I mean, I'm not a golfer, but it's like what? It's a ball and a I mean, it's a golf ball and a golf club. I mean, am I missing anything? What?
It's more complicated than that. Yeah.
No, but think about it. It's all about what? There's a golf ball and there's the club or the tee or whatever that is, the iron or whatever it is, okay? I mean, that's all it is. And sometimes the ball is here, and sometimes the ball is there, and sometimes what's that thing called up there? The flag, the hole, whatever it is, right? Sometimes it's there, and sometimes it's there, but it's basically you're just kind of moving that ball around with clubs and irons. Isn't that all you're doing? Yeah. See, keep it simple, isn't it? And how long have you been playing golf? Okay, so over time you're getting experience with it, right? You're learning, right? But you're really always learning about what? Ball, golf club, and getting it to where I want it to go. Isn't that really all you're doing? Okay, so that's all you're doing. Good. That's all you need to focus on. Okay? What anybody else is doing, do you have to focus on? No. No. When you do focus on what everybody else is doing, what happens to your concentration and your relaxation goes downhill. Good for you. Yeah. So that's the mind game. That's what they're talking about. Okay? So you know how to be confident. But you lose it because you come out of that inner place, which is about what? Just about that and a ball and where you want it to go. Right? Isn't that all it's about? Yep. I don't know why they make such a big deal about it. Okay? And that's in all areas of your life. When you stay home inside yourself, right? And you live from within yourself, right? Everything will be fine. But as soon as you leave your home and go out there into, thinking about other people or what other people are thinking, or you leave it and you think about the future, or what's going to happen if I do this, or what's going to happen if I do that, then you're lost, aren't you? So that's why this practice of mindfulness concentration can be very helpful to you in all areas of your life. Is that clear?